Doing Uncle G.
Yeah, it's good, man. Good, Tyler.
So you guys are recording on your end. Are we pretty much ready to rock and roll, or?
We're ready, brother. We're ready. I am ready.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna read the intro and then we'll jump right into it.
Okay, beautiful.
Hello and welcome to the Lifestyle Business Podcast. My name is Tyler Basu. I'm the publisher of Lifestyle Business Magazine, and today I have the pleasure of introducing a very special guest. He is a multi-millionaire entrepreneur, real estate investor, and international sales training expert. And he's been featured on pretty much every major business publication that you can be featured on. He's also a New York Times bestselling author of multiple books, including The 10X Rule, Sell or Be Sold, and his latest book, Be Obsessed or Be Average. Well, Grant Cardone, welcome to the show.
Hey, Tyler, great to be here, man. I've been waiting to do this. I know I stood you up the other day, so I apologize for that. Thank you for having me.
It is all good. It is all good. I'm excited to chat with you. And before we get into it, this is actually the second time we've spoken. You were a guest on a previous podcast. We did an interview back in 2015 where we talked about sales. And so I just wanted to share a quick update with you. I don't know if you remember this, but my goal was to get 3,000 people to watch that interview. You said, no, we got to 10X that. Let's go for 30,000. I just checked this week. We've had over 65,000 people have watched that interview between me and you. And that just goes to show, man, how many people want to hear what you have to say. Because they're not watching that to hear me, man. They're watching that to hear you.
What was the title of that?
That was How to 10X Your Business and Sell Like a Champion. And we talked about sales skills.
Okay, well, I'll get you some more help. Let's get it to 100 now.
Sounds good. But we're not talking about sales today. We're talking about something a little bit different, which is how to become obsessed with your goals and achieve success. Now, the title of your book is Be Obsessed or Be Average. Now, you didn't start off successful. You know, way earlier in your career and as an early adult, you were pretty average. You know, like most people are. So, can you take us back to that time in your life? Tell us, you know, what was going on in your early adult life. Before you made up your mind that, you know, you're going to make some things happen, you're going to succeed.
Look, I was a mess. I mean, I went from being a dreamer to somebody that was just a mess. So, you know, I think like every kid, like, you know, at 8, 9, 10 years old, man, I'm thinking big things, and I think there's big things for me, and I got all these little fantasies, and then by the time I'm 20 years old, dude, I'm just a wreck. And it just kept going downhill for me. People talk about finding bottoms. I found so many different bottoms that I'm like, well, I hit the bottom. I'm like, you can't go lower than this. Yeah, you can. So,
yeah.
And it's because now that I look back over my career, really, and that's what this book's about, it's because I kept denying my obsessions. I kept trying to push it off and kept being told by people, don't do that, don't have that, don't dream too big, don't. And that's why I think it's so hard for people to hold on to their inspiration and their ambitions and their goals. I mean, you look at how few people, like if I talk about goals with people, most people their faces don't light up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
They actually get a little, the first response, I mean, I've talked to audiences that got 5,000 people in the audience or even more. And I start talking about goals. You don't get this big excited look. You get this big like suspect, doubt.
Yeah, unless it's New Year's, then you might get a goal.
Yeah, and then everybody's like, yeah, now's the time, right? But the rest of the year, it causes people to be reminded of all the goals they set and didn't stay with. I mean, that's probably the number one question I got after I wrote the 10X rule. How do you keep it going?
Yeah.
You know, once you 10X something, how do you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it? You're depressed and you're down and you're in doubt and you don't have it that day. You know, that's how I woke up today. I woke up today like, you know, and then I'm like, that's when I asked myself this question. Hey, do you want to be obsessed or you want to be average, bro?
Mm-hmm.
This is your only two choices. This is what I didn't know when I was a kid. I kind of knew it when I was a kid, but my parents had already given up on this idea of enormous lives. They had already been talked out of enormous lives. So my dad went from being the general payroll master, which means he worked in the Army, and he did all the accounting for the Army and did payroll.
Okay.
And then he went and he left the Army, and then he went and started a store. They were entrepreneurs for the first time, and they started making some money. And then my dad took the store and he started an insurance company. and they were going to make a lot of money in this insurance company, and his partners stole the company from him. And you see, when you start accumulating losses in life, then you start kind of going down.
Yeah.
And you start making sense of whatever you have rather than whatever you could have. And the obsessed person, the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musk, the Oprahs, I don't know. There's a whole list, right? There's just all these people you and I, Tyler, both know their names. I'm hoping to be on that list one day where people know my names. My name becomes synonymous with somebody that made a monster difference. Those are the people that are obsessed. Every one of them have that one thing in common, regardless of their industry. Oprah did TV. Elon Musk is in space. Steve Jobs did technology, right? Whatever the case. Jesus did religion, you know? And so all those people, regardless of the space they were in, dude, they all have one thing in common. Obsessed.
Yeah, and it's a healthy obsession to some extent, because you can get obsessed about the wrong things.
Dude, everybody is obsessed with the wrong things.
Yeah, you can definitely get obsessed with the wrong things. And you know, going back to, I mean, you've come a long way. You went from car salesman in your mid-20s to all those things I mentioned in the intro.
Well, dude, I was a drug addict before I was a car salesman. So the people were like, "You're a car salesman?" Dude, I was a drug addict yesterday. So I mean, you know.
So what changed? How did you go from being addicted to drugs to going down the wrong path to becoming obsessed about a positive path? What shifted in your mindset, or was it your environment that changed? Was it the people around you? What was going on?
There is no one shift. Everybody's looking for the one thing, you know. There was 9 years times 365, whatever that number is. 9 years times 365. Every day, me making a decision. It's going to be different today. 3,600 times I failed at that. And one day it clicked. And I started changing. Then for the last 33 years times 365, I have to keep making a new decision, man.
Yeah.
You know, me and you wouldn't be doing this interview, dude, if I'd have been happy with my first business. Or even my second business, or the third business. We wouldn't be doing this today if I had not. I didn't write my first book till I was 51. I've written 7 books in the last 8 years. I've developed 19 business programs. If you don't develop products, nobody's going to know who you are. So you have to develop a product, and the products have to be good. They have to change people's lives, or the products have to be really, really bad. Okay, like Visa, MasterCard. These are terrible products, dude. Okay, pornography is an awful product. So, but it solves people's problems, right? Pornography, Visa card, MasterCard. These things are for people that have quit. You know, why is the pornography industry so freaking enormous? It's because people quit on relationships. Had you not quit on relationship, you wouldn't spend time looking at pornography, man. If you were getting it in the real deal, you wouldn't have to look at it on your phone. So why do people use Visa and MasterCard? They use it. Most of the people are being used by Visa and MasterCard because you quit on money. So it's a simple choice, okay? And your parents don't teach you. It's one or the other. Either you're going to be all in or you're not. You're either going to be wealthy or you're going to be poor. See, but your parents try to make up this fantasy that, oh, you did all right, you tried, you did the best you could. No, you either failed or you won. That's it. So this book's really about giving people like you, Tyler, permission to jump into the addictive qualities that everybody has. Because maybe you didn't snort cocaine every day, but I guarantee you did something every day that was destructive. Watching cartoons when you're 6 years old. 3 hours of Tom and Jerry, dude. Come on, man. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah. So what can we tell people who they know they've got some destructive habits going on? There's some things they're doing on a daily basis that are not serving them long term. Yeah. How do we take those things out of the routine? How do we channel that energy into a more productive or a more positive purpose?
If you have the ability to be destructive, you have the ability to be constructive.
That's a good point.
Okay. If you have the ability to do something over and over and over and over again that actually is going to destroy you, just guess, look how much energy you have, man. Look how much persistence. Look how much freaking genius you actually have. Okay? Because before you're going to be called freaking great, a genius, brilliant, before anybody's going to know you, I guarantee you, man, people are going to think something's wrong with you. So you have the quality. See, I always had the quality, man. Okay? And before that person was destructive, what happened was they pushed down all this energy. They denied something for it to squirt out and go weird. Like I was watching a storm the other night, you know. If you look at a storm, we have these big cumulus clouds that accumulate here because of the heat and the ocean on the Atlantic, right? And they form and they get thick and they get heavy, dude. What comes out of them? The more compression, the more electricity and the more thunder and the more rain. So with compression, when the addict, let's say the guy's an addict, okay? Or you're called ADD or ADHD or COPD or whatever it is, dude, right? You're compressing. You don't want to sit in a class. You hate sitting in a class. You're a rebel, right? Man, that has juice and energy in it, and it was created because somebody pushed down some genius that exists in you. That's what I believe. When I quit compressing and denying, okay? When I quit denying what I wanted, I've always wanted to be rich. I've always wanted to be famous. You know, I've always had like an insatiable appetite to discover the truth about God. I've always wanted to have the hottest chick in the room. Dude, when I quit denying all that, I quit using drugs. When I became obsessed with the things that I actually wanted, I didn't have time for drugs anymore. I'm like, I don't want to do that, man. You know, I want to fly private. Right? So I don't have time to waste it on drugs anymore because I want all these other things more. And now I don't have people around me telling me not to do that.
And you bring up a good point that the people around you have changed, which I think is important because anyone who's got some of those destructive habits, you know, maybe it's drug addiction, whatever the case is, there's usually people around them who have those destructive habits too. And it's just kind of the circle they're in. So when you made those decisions that you're going to go after the things that you wanted in life, did you also cut ties with some of those people? Did you change up who you were around?
Dude, if you're hanging around druggies and you don't use drugs, they don't want to be around you. You don't need to cut them out. They don't want to be around you. Okay. Yeah. So if you let me tell you the best way to get rid of average people around you. Because look, the problem is not having bad people around you. The problem is having average people around you. It's not having criminals around you. Okay, most people are not being threatened with their life every day.
Yeah,
it's all the millions, the hundreds of millions, the billions of people that actually had an average existence today, and go home with this hole in their stomach, and wonder why am I not happy? Why does my marriage suck? Why do the kids not fulfill me? Because they can't, man. Don't you get it? Dude, you got a genius sitting inside of you saying, let's roll, dude. Let's do something great. And you thought the marriage, the kids, the good job was going to satisfy you. No, it ain't. Because nothing can fill it up until you freaking drop into it and say, I'm going to be brilliant. Because that's who we're all meant to be. And so what we're doing in this book is we're giving people permission, man. And the way to get average people away from you is not to cut them out. It's to get great because they won't want to be with you. You don't have to cut them out. They will not want to spend time with you. I know people that are close to me. I'm not going to mention their names. They were literally 40 miles from me, man. Okay, less than 40 miles, 40 minutes from me, and didn't come see me. Now, what does that tell you, man?
You make them uncomfortable.
Dude, they don't want to be in my space, okay? Okay, now 3 weeks before that, they were on my plane. And my sister, my wife said to me, she's like, why don't you tell them, why don't you talk to them about it? So why? I'm just going to make them more uncomfortable. I already know what I know. Why would you want to be on my plane 3 weeks ago, be 40 minutes from me, and not want to spend time with me? Because you aren't comfortable in my space. Good, man. Now we know it. Let's all own it. And then I get to surround myself with people that do want to be with me, man. I don't want to force that issue. This isn't a sale I'm trying to make. It's a life I'm trying to create.
Now, what are some of those things that you adopted into your life? Some of those habits, some of those routines, some of those activities, some of the things that you've been doing consistently that have been the catalyst for these positive results in your life and the success in your life. Like what did you replace those bad habits with some good ones, and what were those good ones?
Yeah. So I talk about feed the beast. Feed the beast. It's in chapter. Oh my gosh, where's the chapter? It's the wrong book. Wrong. It's the wrong guts. Feed the beast. I think it's chapter 5 of the book. Okay, and I talk about feed the beast. Chapter 6 is starve the doubt. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm feeding the beast. Basically, I'm fertilizing the grass. Okay, to smother the weeds. And so what I'm doing is I'm figuring out every day, how can I spend time with winners, with obsessive people? How do I get around the guys that are dreamers and artists? Not people that are thinking, people that are doing. Okay, I don't want any more ideas, man. I want activity. I want to be on offense. I don't want to know why you can't do it. I want to know how we can do it. Okay, I don't care how challenging, how many barriers. I talk about find that vein, baby. Keep poking around till you find blood, brother. Okay, not even a nurse would. She keeps poking around. Look at the drug addict. The drug addict just keeps poking around until he finds a vein because he needs that drug in his arm. So you got to make success a drug. And when I got out of a treatment center, people were like, all you've done is replace one addiction with another addiction. I said, yeah, man, exactly.
But a positive one.
Yeah,
I think we all have addictive personalities, man. Like there's things that if we're going to do it, we want to do it. Dude, we want to do a lot of it all the time, and that can be good or it can be bad. So you found a way to make it good.
Every person I've ever met, all you got to do is ask them, what are you addicted to? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not. Dude, something. Mm-hmm. I guarantee there's something you do a lot of over and over and over and over and over and over again. You love doing it over. In fact, you do it so much you don't even like it anymore. You've already that's the definition of every addict, dude. You do something now so many times you don't even like doing it anymore, but you keep doing it over and over and over again. Okay,
it's like a dependency on it almost.
Totally, it doesn't have to be a drug, man. Okay,
yeah.
like most people are just addicted to average. People are addicted to excuses. People are addicted to blame. There's a lot of things people are addicted to. You know, well, the economy, well, the target was too big, well, the customer. How many salespeople do you know, dude, that blame the customer? Now, how do you even make sense of that?
Yeah, the ones that don't do so well.
Yeah, exactly. So these are all things people become addicted to. It becomes a way of them to make sense of what they're doing over and over again that doesn't even work anymore. Repeating the same results, expecting a different result, and then repeating the same activity, expecting a different result, and you can't get off that treadmill. So it doesn't have to be, poking heroin in your arm.
Mm-hmm. Now, I wanted to ask you about when that change happened to your life, where you went from average to now achieving some of those goals that you set out, getting the beautiful wife, having the house, having a successful business, all those things. So right when those happened, that put you above average already.
Yeah.
You're since way past that. I mean, now you're crushing it in all those areas.
But that's you saying that about me.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's not me saying that about me.
Yeah, because you're shooting for way more. Like you've still got that hunger, you've still got that ambition.
Yeah, because I refuse, because I'm the only one that knows.
Yeah.
So what you think? See, it's really unfair that people. It's unfair that people, compare their first year to my 33rd year.
Yeah.
I don't look, man. I don't know what I don't know, right? So I don't know. Look, 3 years ago, I didn't know I was going to have it yet. Mm-hmm. I didn't even have it as a target. Mm-hmm. And so, I remember flying first class for the first time with American Airlines because I was upgraded. Dude, I thought, oh my God, this is unbelievable, man. Yeah. And then I remember one day saying, man, I hate freaking flying with anybody. And that's all I was saying all the time. I hate standing in line. I hate the food. I hate the service. They start late. They land late, I hate going through security. And then one day my wife said to me, hey, man, you going to complain about it or do something about it? I said, what? She's like, Look, if you don't like doing it, buy a plane or quit flying or shut up. See, you need people around you that are just going to tell you the truth. See, when I told the people around me, I said, man, I'm going to buy a jet. They're like, even my accountant said, that's ridiculous. There's no way you can make sense of it. Bro, no, there's no way the accountant can make sense of it. Okay? Because the only way I can actually create the life I want and be obsessed with creating the life I want, man, is to also be willing to exchange money for the machinery, the facilities, people, the support necessary for me to create the life I want. The accountant can't make sense of me buying a jet because he thinks money is more important than me living the life that I know I can live. You get it? So I remember when I was traveling 200 days a year, bro. I was on a plane 200 days of the year. Somebody else's plane, standing in somebody else's line with a bunch of people I didn't know and couldn't help me, eating food I didn't like. Right? Well, today, if I'm going to do that, dude, I'm doing it on my freaking jet. And everybody, I'm not bragging about that. I'm an example of what is possible. And most of us were not brought up with the kind of think that would support that.
Yeah. So how do you keep elevating then what your new standard is, or what the next target is? How do you make sure that you're consistently elevating what you're shooting for is?
Be obsessed or be average. Being obsessed is not something that stops because you achieve something.
So it's constant growth.
Yeah. So like I'm obsessed. I got a bunch of them, by the way. You know, there's a book, and I think it was a bestseller. It's called The One Thing. Because everybody's looking for the one thing. The one thing, right? I'm not looking for one thing, man. One thing cannot satisfy my potential. There is not one thing. There's a bunch of things that you should be doing every day. But people have been taught that they can only do one thing. It's crazy, man. Like I've written a book on wealth. I've written books on sales, closing, negotiating, follow-up, the 10X rule. 10X rule is an international, like a phenomenon book, right? The publishers say, dude, the book's a phenomenon. It's all over the place. This book is on how to tap in. These are all different things that I've studied and done. You know, I'm a father, I'm a husband. I think I'm good at both of those, okay? I own 5 businesses. I'm doing an interview with you. I've been on TV. Look, you can do all this stuff. It's not one thing. There is no one thing. This is the problem with the artists, the Elvis. Elvis only did one thing, and then he found himself on a bathroom floor overdosing. Why? Because one thing cannot satisfy any human being. It is impossible. But the world looks on and says, what is wrong with Elvis? Dude, because Elvis didn't tap into the other things. He basically got, you know, he got pinned into one thing.
Yeah. So we got to give ourselves permission to go after more than just one thing.
Yeah, if you notice, the football player wants to be the actor. The actor wants to be the ball player. The ball player wants to be the rapper. Why? Because they want to express themselves in more than one way. But the public, see, the public wants the guy or the gal wants you to only do one thing. Why do they only think you can do one thing? Because they're trying to make sense of why they only do one thing.
Yeah, that makes. I'm thinking of Jamie Foxx. You know Jamie Foxx?
There you go. Perfect example.
Perfect example. He's crushing it as a comedian. He's killing it as an R&B artist, as a singer, and as an actor,
and as a businessman now.
That too.
Okay. Look at Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre comes out of the hood. You know, starts making rap music. Then he starts producing. Then he does his deal with Beats. Dude, these are extremely talented people. Now, both of those guys, by the way, were condemned and criticized when they tried to make their move. Because the people around them want to believe you can only be a genius on one thing, dude. It's bullshit.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. So I want to talk about success a little bit, because that's really like the theme here is how do we become obsessed and channel that addictive energy we have into something positive so that we can achieve success. But it's worth bringing up what that means for certain people, because the definition of success changes for everyone, right? So you're saying that we shouldn't define it as one thing, Because if we just get that one thing, we're going to figure out pretty quick that maybe that one thing wasn't enough. So how do you define success?
Well, it's not going to be enough. There's nobody. Ask your dad. Hey, Dad, you were a good father. You provided for us. Is it enough? Just go ask him. Anybody, go ask any of your parents, okay? Mm-hmm. You know, would you do something different? No, son, you know, that was it. Really? Dude, like, well, there's no way. If people are honest with themselves, could you have done more, Dad? You know, could you have done more? Should you have done more is even a bigger question. So you see, for success for me is I'm the only one that can define it for me. Yep. If I get really, really honest with myself, can I do more? I'm not talking about more money. I'm not talking about more fame. I'm not talking about more cars or bigger houses. Could I do more? You know, when I see Bill Gates going to give $58 billion away, I'm like, dude, you know, pretty strong. You know, Mark Zuckerberg is going to give away $3 billion. He's 30 years old, man. These guys are making a difference. I see what Jesus did. I see what Alexander the Great did by the time he was 16, okay? Now, was he a freaking nutcase? Yeah, so what, man? Okay, he had all these freaking things going on with his mom, whatever. Dude, the guy conquered freaking 1/3 of planet Earth by the time he's 16, brother. That's pretty good, okay? Yeah, so you had some other crazy stuff going on, okay?
Yeah.
You know, success can only be defined by the individual that's being honest with themselves. Okay. Mm-hmm. Could you do more? Can you influence more than one area of your life? Starts with me. First, I want to control my physical body. Yeah. Then I want to control 3 feet outside of me. The next thing you know, I'm powerful. Hey, I want to control 13 feet outside of me. Oh man, shit, I'm going to control my whole community. Okay. So then how much can I influence? And can I make a difference for the better? Not just make a difference and not just make noise. And that's why I think you see so many, back to you look at Jamie Foxx, dude. Jamie Foxx looks like a pretty healthy guy. Yeah, I don't know if he is or not, but you see some of these guys, you see like the comedian that killed himself last year, Robin Williams.
Right, yeah.
He wasn't satisfied with just the comedy. I know they're going to say he was manic and depressive and all that. Dude, depression comes for everybody that doesn't fulfill their purpose. Everybody on this planet has been depressed before. For no reason, by the way. For no apparent reason. Except maybe the one reason nobody talks about, which is, man, I know I could do more and I'm not.
Yeah. If you could say something to that younger version of yourself, you know, back when you were going down the wrong path, things weren't working out, you just weren't making some of those right decisions. If you could give yourself advice at that point in your life, what would you say?
Man, I mean, it would have been, look, I mean, I don't know if I could have got it then. I mean, just. Bro,
yeah, you can assuming you got the message.
Yeah. I mean, you can do like 100 times what you think you can do. I don't care who the person is that's listening to this right now. Whatever you think you can do, you are underestimating your ability. Okay. The problem with goal setting is it bangs up against the belief the individual has in themselves at that time. You're limited to your experiences in that moment. And your ideas, your goals are set based on your surroundings. So you can't, you know, how does Elon Musk think about going to Mars? He's never even been there. Well, he couldn't do that 20 years or 30 years ago. Now he starts creating this momentum of belief in himself, and potential starts to expand and explode. He's like, hey, wait a minute. Man, I think I could take us to Mars. Well, he probably didn't have that in the beginning, or maybe he did, and somebody stuffed it down and said, that's ridiculous. So, like, you got to let the imagination go, right? Big, which means you got to get around, you got to get the barriers, all the limited thinking around you, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, schools, religion, that are limiting this thinking to what they think is possible and what they're trying to make sense of. I know this is a bit esoteric, man, but you know, why wasn't I thinking about $100 million or $1 billion when I started my first business?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, but I wasn't. I was thinking about my first million. Actually, I was thinking about $100,000 a year. I kept thinking, man, if I could make $100,000 a year, and then it was like, if I could have $100,000 earn me 10% a year, that would be $10,000. My thinking has always been so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole big think thing. I mean, everybody throws it around. It's an easy thing to throw around, dude. It's hard to put your hands around.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you've probably got like a voice in your head now that every time you're setting a goal or setting an objective, you probably got that voice that says, "Hey, Grant, why not go for something bigger?"
Dude, the small goals are harder to attain than big goals.
Good point.
I'm trying to figure out. I've been trying to figure out how to take my real estate business to 4,000 units. I hit 4,000 and then realized, damn, dude, I should have been thinking 40,000. Now I know when I'm doing that because why?
Yeah.
Because if I have a plan for 40,000 rather than 4,000, it forces the think. Okay?
That makes sense.
This is what I talked about in the 10X rule. It forces the think to be bigger than the problem right now. See, most people get stuck in the problem right now. Now that's really a 10X rule concept. The problem with the 10X rule is it didn't tell people, look, you have to get obsessed. Like literally 24 hours a day. You need to go to sleep with it, man. You need to, if you're not waking up in the middle of the night, you're not obsessed. And if you're not obsessed, you've been deluded. You're being deluded. You're being deluded, delusional, deluded. You're being deluded by other people's thinking, and you become delusional to the possibilities.
So, Grant, I got one last question for you, and then we'll wrap up. And I just want to thank you, for spending this time with me and for talking about this topic. I think a lot of people are going to be impacted by this book and by this message. So, I want to acknowledge you for getting it out there. If we could leave the listeners with an action step, what's one thing people can start doing right away that's going to bring them a little bit closer to making more of an impact in the world, fulfilling their potential, and building a business that gives them that lifestyle that they want? We talked about creating that lifestyle.
Dude, every time, here's what I would do, okay? Every time you hear anyone labeled ADD, ADHD, compulsive, control freak, selfish, greedy, these are all labels, dude. Racist, Republican, Democrat, young, millennial, old, male, female, any label, all labels are an indication that people are trying to make sense of average. Every label you can come up with, businessman, wife, husband, dad, they're labels. Your name is a label, man. Okay? Your body size, you're 5'8", you weigh 165 pounds. That's a label, man. You're a basketball player. Okay? Whatever, bro. Like you're a cheerleader. These are labels that limit the individual. The individual becomes that label. These are made up.
Yeah.
Okay? You're money hungry. You're starving. They're just flips of the same label, but they're all limitations on the possibility of the individual, because the obsessive person, okay, has the quality to be a genius. And so that's what I would seek. I would like I want to tap into the freaking beast, bro. I want to I want to go nuclear, man. I want to be this freaking explosion. Now, a lot of people that are going to hear this today are going to be like, I don't need all that. Yeah, that's fine, dude. These are your labels. Be obsessed or be average. Okay? So and hey, you might be obsessing with being average.
That's a good point. That is a good point. That's a possibility. Well, Grant, listen, thank you so much, man. This has been a ton of fun. If people want to grab your book, it is on Amazon, correct?
It's on Amazon. It's at Barnes, dude. It's at Books A Million, Target.
Yeah, and you've got a ton of other stuff going on. GrantCardone.com. You've got the
let me give you a little special thing. When's this going to drop?
This is going to drop towards end of October.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You want it sooner?
Yeah, it needs to go out before the 10th, dude. It should go out like October the 1st or 2nd or 3rd. Or
okay, well, we'll get the video up right away.
Here's the deal, dude. The book doesn't drop until the 10th. Okay, now this is what I did, because I got hundreds of thousands of people that don't want to wait for the book to drop.
Okay.
So if you don't want to wait for the book to drop, this is what I would ask people to do. If you go to grantcardone.com/obsessed, I can't get you the book today either. Okay, but this is what I will do. If you order the book from grantcardone.com/obsessed today, I'll give you a 10-hour video series. It's a $500 program. I'll give it to you today, and I'm going to read you the book in full video.
Cool.
So if you don't want to watch my face, you can listen to it on your phone. Okay, but it's the only way to get that book today is to get it is I'll give you the $500 program. All you do is order the book from me. I'm going to make the order from Amazon anyway, okay? Yeah. It's $29.90 at my site. You get a $500 program. And when you get the book, you're going to get the book on the 10th. When you get the book, if you write a review on it, okay, send me the receipt and the review. I'll give you a $30 credit at my store against any digital product. So you basically didn't pay anything for the book.
Yeah, and the book, the sales are going to a charity of some kind, are they not?
All the proceeds from the sale of the book go to Drug-Free America and Drug-Free World. I was labeled ADD, ADHD. I was prescribed Ritalin, Prozac, all these drugs unnecessarily. I never needed to be on them. I didn't have any of those problems. I was told I was dyslexic. I was told I was ADD. Dude, I didn't have any of those problems. Dude, it was all bull.
Labels,
bro. It was labels, man. And those labels are used to drug people. You know, there ain't no money in cocaine for the government, bro. There's money for the government if you get on Prozac and Ritalin and lithium.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Grant, we'll wrap things up there. We'll get this video up right away so people can pre-order before the book comes out. Thank you again for your time. This has been a blast, man, and I wish you guys all the best with the book launch.
Dude, be obsessed because I know average is not in your vocabulary.
I will do, man.
All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Cheers.
That's an awesome dude, man. Huh?